made in the USA. It is now. It had American labor and American expertise and American precision placed into the blood of this guitar. Hey, well, it's a happy Monday, December 30th, and on my bench, yeah, you better believe it, you are looking at a beautiful Gibson Les Paul Custom. The gold blingy bling hardware. Oh my goodness. The block inlays. Yeah. Oh, classic Les Paul Custom. What is it? A 5-layer binding on this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, whatever. Yeah. EMGs. Gold blingy hardware. Speed knobs. Spalted maple top. I think it's spalted maple. I'm pretty sure it is. Beautiful sunburst finish on this bad boy. Does anybody see what I see? Yeah? Maybe? What we're doing today, and over the next couple days, probably, because I've got 8 guitars that I'm in the middle of working on, swapping out some electronics. We are going to do new potentiometers, and we are going to replace these EMGs with chrome-plated aftermarket pickups. The owner of this guitar does not want these active pickups in here. I'm not 100% certain if they're active. He just didn't like them. So that's what we're doing. And we're going to give this thing a setup. Yes, this is fresh from the factory that it was made in. Yeah, Les Paul Custom. Oh boy, get ready. Yeah, I think you see what I see, right? All right, so I just tuned up this Les Paul Custom. Figured we should demo this thing beforehand. Now, I just tuned it up, and we're in the neck position, and so we got some. This sounds amazing. Les Paul Custom. Bridge pickup. Oh no, I'm not doing that. All right, so it's a Les Paul Custom. You're looking at it. There it is. Getting new pickups, new controls. It's getting a new life. Hang in there. Gold blingy pickups coming up next. Here we go. I'll shoot a little video of that. I just wanted you to hear it. Okay, now, but wait, before I do this, the good news, this is right out of the factory, right? You gotta watch me do this. Hold your tuner up to the computer. Hold your tuner up to the computer so you can check. Tune this, right? You heard me tune this guitar. Wait. Here's an E major.
this guitar perfectly in tune. It's perfectly in tune. Perfectly in tune. Okay, we'll just leave it at that. Oh, hey.
Hey.
Okay. Oh. I need to turn them on and make sure they work.
Okay.
I gotta check the time. Okay. I've got time. I've got guitar students showing up. So hustle here.
You teach a lot of lessons.
Yeah. Very busy.
Hello.
Hey, what's happening?
Watch a movie. It's like you guys don't understand. It's 10 o'clock my time.
Right.
I go to bed by 8 every
I'm
day,
ready for bed.
which is 6 o'clock our time here.
Yeah.
Not every day. We call you around 8 o'clock our time.
Excuse me.
Why are you filming when you're working on it?
What's that?
Why are you filming yourself working on it?
Well, because I film almost every guitar that I work on,
Uh-huh.
and since I started doing that, my workload has quadrupled, tripled.
Really?
Yeah, like this is all I do all day long. I live in La Grande, Oregon, and I have to work on guitars every day. Life sucks. And then I get to teach people how to play guitar when I'm done.
That's
50. Okay. Well, what do you say? Care. That is neck position. 50-50. 50-50. I guess wrong.
All right.
I guess.
Yep.
Oh, by the way, that turntable is just fixed. I fixed it the other night. I told Kevin that he got a hold of it. I think he got a hold of it. Oh, Jason was back. Yeah, I had a little Marantz drive. I saved for the motor, but I had that heat on.
This has one good and I'm wondering if because I still want to. Marshall, doesn't he need?
It's free stuff. It's the lady wanted to donate it to us. So I threw it back there in case somebody wanted it. It's not, all right. Well, I thought somebody around here might want it. What's that?
I think so. I read some of the rules. I do play, but apparently you're not supposed to have a bed with your feet face out the door. Well, that's the only good spot for the bed. I don't care. Let's go in there. Very often, when I get over oh no.
Hey, Marshall,
Yes, sir.
is this an 18?
That is.
Do we have another one of those upstairs?
There's two of them up. We have two brand new ones in boxes up there by
Those
Peavy.
are dark matter. We don't have the other ones.
We've got them in 15s, I think.
The other ones?
I think Stu went up and looked last night.
Okay.
I didn't go up and look.
I could sell two 18s if we had the
Right.
ones not that aren't dark matter. And I don't know why he doesn't want dark. He doesn't think they're enough power. But Jesus Christ.
Okay. I have that one used one over there that's an 18, but it's used.
But we don't have a match for it, though, do we?
No.
Okay.
No, and they don't make them anymore.
All
So
right.
that's going to have to go out probably as a single.
Shit, these fucking kick ass.
Yeah.
Don't they?
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's bulletproof. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah.
Not a problem. Not a problem. I need a box of acoustic Kaiser 10s. I say hippie stuff. I think anything that isn't solid color leather is hippie stuff. It's not necessarily true. Okay. So, are you playing tonight? Oh.
So it's time for intonation on this bad boy. And you can see my strobe tuner. It's the Peterson Stomp Classic. Great strobe tuner. And my adjustment points for the intonation of this Les Paul custom. A little sharp. So we need to go backwards with the saddle. Now, I know I'm going to get yelled at for doing this with string tension on it. Go ahead, yell. I'm listening. I'm listening. I'm listening to you scream and yell. Okay, I heard you. Boom.
A little sharp. That's showing it's a little flat, so we'll bring that up. With it, just given the way this saddle is looking, boy, they did a great job positioning this the bridge and the saddle. Still just a hair flat. That's probably not even noticeable, but if the tuner is showing it, might as well make that adjustment. Still showing a little bit flat. Well, I'm hoping that that's a D string. This thing's bottomed out. I'm hoping that it's intonated good as it is from the factory. I'm hoping. Dead on. Little sharp. Move it back. I know, get mad because I'm doing it with string tension on here. Go ahead. Intonated. Ooh, this thing's about ready to be played. Oh man, I'm gonna have my boss play it. All right, so let's take a look at this Gibson, Chinese-made Gibson Les Paul Custom. You'll notice little flaws in the finish on the top of this guitar that likely would not occur in an actual Les Paul Custom. There's another little spot right there. You can see the divot. The nut on this instrument was plastic. I have replaced that with a bone nut and have gotten the nut slots exactly correct for 12 gauge strings. We're going to start from the headstock and move all the way down the instrument. Let's see. So the plastic nut, the first fret action here with the bone nut that I have made for this instrument is the first fret action, 20 thousandths is how far you have to push each string to make contact with that first fret. The nut that was on this instrument, you had to push the strings down nearly 60 thousandths of an inch, which the moment you played an open E chord or a C, you've already bent the string out of pitch and the guitar was out of tune. Just really terrible quality control on that. Again, this is a Chinese-made Les Paul Custom. You can see the painted on Les Paul Custom logo. Kind of goofy. It's got my fingerprints all over it. Yeah. Polished the frets. They were nasty. Although the fretwork, down the sides of this instrument was done pretty well up until you got up into here, which I have edged the frets so that they're nice and comfy. Let's see, what else? Other flaws in the finish. Notice this big old goop right here. All right, so I'm just pointing out the real true imperfections in this instrument that you would not see on a Les Paul Custom. There are other dings in the finish, this sort of stuff. Real obvious stuff. But if you're at a distance, I mean, all right, so you're here and then you're here looking at it through a microscope. What do you want? The guitar, after being set up, is really truly amazing. I'm impressed. The neck width is ever so slightly narrower than an actual Les Paul. I won't go into the dimensions there. The truss rod, which is a 4mm hex key, on a Les Paul Custom, it would be a 5/16 inch nut attached to a rod that runs through the neck. Let's see, we have swapped out these crappy fake EMG electronics. Here they are. These are not real EMG pickups. They're not. They're fakes. Everything on this is fake. They have the name Gibson and they have the name EMG stamped on them. They're not real. They are manufactured in China, likely. But the way these mounted was really nice. They have great mounting hardware that does a great job holding the pickup true. We have swapped those pickups out for some Epiphone brand pickups, and they sound amazing and they're well balanced. I'll demo this guitar here in a few minutes. I have adjusted the intonation. It was awful close even after having done the nut. The intonation on this instrument was awful close. We have replaced all of the volume and tone pots. Now has much like a traditional or a standard, depending on what Les Paul decided to do that day. We have now push-pull pots for coil taps on both pickups. The center position switch sounds really nice with those coil taps in there. Anything else? I have replaced the output jack with a Switchcraft output jack. The pickup set came with a set or an output jack. That is an output jack. It's not an input jack. Sound goes out, not in, right? Okay, now that we're clear, how many people call that an input jack? Like, okay. I have polished and cleaned this guitar and treated the neck with linseed oil. It was very dry when it arrived. So aside from that, the guitar is all ready to go. Now, one other detail about this instrument, you can see another little flaw divot, it looks like, in the finish. Yeah, they're not perfect. This guitar was purchased by a very good friend of mine, a gentleman named Don Slippy, who is going to give this guitar to a youngster here in our community. And he actually asked me about who he felt or I felt might have a recommendation of who would or should get this guitar. And that decision has yet to be made. So thank you, Don, for doing that. I've donated my time to doing the work on this instrument to get it set up perfectly for whoever might end up with it. And I will do a little demo of this guitar here in a minute, and you can see how great it actually plays. Peace, y'all. We'll be back. In tribute to my hometown boy, Tommy Two-Tone. What a cool dude he is. You can go to Portland, Vancouver, and see that guy play at open mics these days, and he'll play that song once in a great while. You never know. I have around my shoulder a Gibson Les Paul Custom. Yeah, the guitar plays beautifully. Oh, what have I done to this thing? The owner purchased this instrument just to try him out, see what the hoopla was all about. Yes, and the serial number is on the back, if you can see that. All right, you see that? Run it. Go ahead, copy it down. It's pause the video. You can run that serial number and it'll tell you what Gibson that serial number goes with. Made in the USA. This one is not made in the USA. It is now. It had American labor and American expertise and American precision placed into the blood of this guitar. This guitar is going to be a gift to either a young man or a young woman in our local area in La Grande, Oregon. That's where we're located. The gentleman who bought this guitar bought it to give to a youngster. And he brought it to me to have it set up correctly. What I can tell you is that the nut was totally wrong. The strings were that high off the first fret. The intonation was pretty close. The pickups were fake. I think I've covered all of that earlier in the video. Polished the frets, treated the fretboard with linseed oil, made sure all the nuts, screws, washers, everything was adjusted correctly, adjusted the pickup height. There's perfect balance. I've got the volume and tones cranked for both the bridge position and the neck position pickups. And here's the neck position. Wow, the guitar's actually in tune. Okay. Neck position, bridge position. Neck, bridge. They're balanced very nicely, and the reason for that is fret or pickup height made them exactly balanced. So the thing, goes from the rhythm pickup. That's my lead pickup, by the way. I play leads with that one. I don't usually play rhythm with that. But it's nice big fat warm tone if you're playing jazz. And the treble. Yeah, the guitar plays great. Neck relief, 12 thousandths. String action, 5/64 on the low E, 4/64 on the high E. The surprisingly, the bridge radius matches the neck radius. So aside from the country of manufacturer, they basically built the Les Paul. This is a piece of plywood. I believe in the center, the pickup cavities were kind of painted, so I couldn't really tell. Nor did I do that much research. Let's see, and the control cavity has shielding paint in there. I mean, they've done everything pretty well, pretty much right, aside from, this wasn't built by the Gibson Guitar Company. I mean, ultimately, that's the only thing. I would go do a gig with this guitar right now. In fact, I played my $2,500 Gibson Les Paul on Wednesday night, or Tuesday night, I should say, New Year's Eve, and it was wonderful. I tuned it a couple times throughout the set. I should say I checked the tuning on it a couple times. I don't think I adjusted anything. It was in perfectly good tune. And this guitar will perform in the same manner. It's set up correctly. A guy learning to play this, or even a great guitar player, somebody who's advanced, would love to be playing this guitar. The kid who ends up with this guitar, man, he's going to have a good one. And I love knowing that a youngster learning to play is being handed a guitar that's set up perfectly, or as perfectly as humanly possible. Do a little jamming on this thing. I have no idea what I'm going to play. Yeah, we'll do something in F sharp minor here, I think. Let's do something in F sharp minor. some in F sharp minor. I don't know. I'd say it plays all right. Congratulations. Thank you, Don, for the work. And I've donated my time to rebuilding this guitar and turning it into an actual playable instrument. So that's my 2 cents on that. I'm happy to help out.